Greetings everyone and welcome to the Game of the Week show. I am your host Matt and that is my friend Dan. Morning.
Sorry,
that's a good start.
Yeah.
That's a really good start.
Happy voice.
So it's just the two of us today. Ash is out in Las Vegas, sleeping probably as we film this, I'd imagine.
Well, he claimed he was going to be sleeping.
So hopefully he's not sleeping. It's only 2 a.m. So I would imagine he should be up partying. But irrespective, you're lumped with just the two of us. Some would say it's for the best. I'm still here. That's all that really matters. The Game of the Week show is a weekly show that friends get together and discuss the latest news topics in the video game industry. We'll also then go through the game releases for that week, and then we all pick our favourite games for that week. If you like video game news, content, let's plays, video games in general, you can check out our website, thegamerinitiative.com. Links to that and our social media are all down below. So, let's kick off the show with some free games. Everyone loves free games, or free games, because it costs you 40 quid a year to get the free games, but, you know.
It works out better.
It does. PlayStation Plus, the game for October, so launching tomorrow, if you're watching this on the day it goes up, or possibly, it might even be available now. Broken Age is the first up, PS4 and Vita. This is a Tim Schafer game, probably recognise his name from Grim Fandango. It's a point-and-click adventure game, stories of two individuals. It got really good reviews. I remember us talking about it when it came out on the PS4 not that long ago.
Yeah.
And I'm quite happy that this is here, because it looked like it might have a good kind of quirky story, but I didn't really want to buy it because I didn't know how much I would get into it. So now I can...
Yes, it was one of those where you looked at it and went, that looks like it could be good, but I don't really want to take a punt on it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, there's so many games you like now. You don't need to take punts on games. You just buy what you know you like.
Exactly.
And then we get free games anyway. Those are the ones you take punts on.
It's also that as well. You look at it and go, that'll probably be PS Plus in a little bit.
Yeah, which it was.
Yeah.
Also on the PS4, we got Super Meat Boy. Also PS4 and Vita. This is a platform game. You're a little red cube dude, and you've got to save a little cubed female. Dudess. 300 levels. It looks cool. I've had an interesting story this week that apparently the original music isn't in the PS4 game. I don't really know why. I say I read it. I saw the title. But it looks like a fun little platform game.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's like a lot of other platformers. It's like there's nothing special about the levels. It's just more about your character.
No, yeah. Staying with platformers, also on the PS4, the final PS4 this week, and PS3 is Unmechanical Extended. I remember talking about this one as well. This is a very dark. It was kind of like in almost like an industrial kind of area, and you're like this little helicopter and you have to try and escape. I remember talking about this one. It's very... So if you like darker games, then... I mean, it's not, like, death dark.
It's essentially helicopter limbo.
Yeah, that's a good way of explaining
looking at it, because it's about the same sort of colour and brightness and everything.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much following the same philosophy of solve puzzle, get out.
Yeah. So, those are your PS4 games on the PlayStation Plus. Then we've got a couple of PS3 and Vita cross-buy games. So actually a lot of Vita games as well for PlayStation Plus. First up, you've got Kickbeat, which if you've ever wanted a game that kind of merges together martial arts and rhythmic-based games, then this is your game. So
yes.
You basically get to kick enemies that are coming from all directions in the rhythm of the song in the background.
Yeah, it's all about just pushing the directional stick in at the right time on the beat, and that's what I looked at. And someone going through it, they explained you can put your own music in, and it will actually customize the levels to it.
That's cool.
If Kung Fu fighting isn't in the game,
it's got to be, surely
you can make it yourself.
That's cool. Talking of Kung Fu, we have Kung Fu Rabbit for the PS3 and Vita. As the name indicates, you are a rabbit who knows Kung Fu. What's not to like there? And he's basically on a quest to save another rabbit, I assume.
Yeah, it's essentially Super Meat Boy, but instead of being a lump of meat, you're a rabbit.
Who knows Kung Fu?
Yeah.
And then closing out the list on PS3, we have Chariot. Unfortunately, this isn't the PS4 version because it is available on the PS4. You still got to go and buy that one. But this is a co-op game where basically the king has died and you are having to transport his coffin across the world. So it's like platforming, but it's not just moving yourself through the level. You've got to worry about this coffin that's on wheels.
Yeah,
that's like a nice little twist.
Yeah, it's the interesting quirk to it because most platformers is just about getting you from A to B. Yeah. Whereas this one's like, well, yeah, you've got to get you there, but you've also got to find a way to get this there, and it's not necessarily always the same path.
No, exactly. So another decent collection in my mind. No big AAA titles that will anger the internet, no doubt, but some solid games in there for you to enjoy and check out. And while we're on PlayStation Plus, Dan, we should mention that Hardware Rivals has got a beta at the moment, which is available for free for all PlayStation Plus members. You should go check that out. This one looks like a fun arena game, doesn't it?
Yes, it's got a slightly cartoonish style to it in terms of the artwork, but it's still very much an arena shooter.
But there's a slight twist. It's not just a standard arena shooter. You are in vehicles.
Yes.
So tanks, and they show a lot of tanks and kind of
buggies,
and seem to be the vehicles of choice. So you either go with power or pace. I
think that's.
I would imagine there's more than two options, but yeah, go and check it out. I know I've downloaded it. I will probably try and give it a go if I get time. But at the moment, I'm very much invested in the Need for Speed beta, which is going on right now.
Yeah.
And I'll have to say, I can't show any of it because it's under, embargo of being confidential and everything. But I'm liking it a lot.
Yeah, is it coming up like the sort of like Need for Speeds, or the newer ones, or a good hybrid between the two?
Yeah, I mean it's not like the old Need for Speeds in you just race. Like there's a story there. It's all live action, so. We've seen that from the trailers, obviously, haven't we? Yeah. There's a lot of live action going on, and the characters are actually quite likable. I've actually, I was worried that it was going to feel a bit crappy and shitty, but the characters are likable enough. I already kind of enjoy their massively cliche characters. And at the start, I really didn't like it because Rivals last year, I didn't like the handling, and that was the problem this year. But you can fully customize the handling to on sliders for wheel pressure and all of that. It will kind of adjust whether or not it becomes like a very loose drifty car or a very heavy grippy car. And I've been able to now find a balance where I actually can drive around at a decent speed.
Okay.
So that's cool. And there's obviously all the visual upgrades, spoilers, colours and bonnets and all that stuff. But yeah, the only thing I can say so far, but it's probably because of my setup, is I can't drift for shit. I am terrible at drifting. I just can't. But I think that's because I need to move maybe all the sliders onto the.
Does it have I know when I think it was Pro Street where they had separate levels purely for drifting? Is it that sort of thing?
Yeah, so it's an open world, and basically at the moment you kind of get invites from You've met 4 other people in your crew. Some of them are doing circuit races. You basically have circuit races. You have time or speed trials where you go point A to B, and then you've got drifting events. Okay. Drifting events can either be that you race against people and try and get to a high point, or another one will be where you have to hit a certain target.
Yeah.
And all the drifting races, I've either come last or failed to hit my target so far. But the races, I generally win.
Yeah.
But yeah. Kind of connection issues aside, the servers are very dodgy at the moment, but that's what beats the force. So.
Yeah,
I'm liking it. I'm worried now that I might have to buy another game. So I'll be playing more of it after this anyway. We'll go back to the news now. So that was a bit of a tangent about Need for Speed. Some breaking news, in fact, that there's been some unconfirmed reports are coming in of an explosion on the north bank of the Singapore marina. Of course, we're not going to carry on with this. That's stupid. This is just Activision saying this. They basically revealed a series of tweets, starting with what I just said, kind of building up on this big kind of event that had gone down in Singapore. And then at the very end, they revealed, oh, by the way, this is a glimpse into the fictional world of Black Ops 3. So, my first thing on reading this was, why are you faking a terrorist attack in order to promote your game?
Yeah.
It's kind of, you know, I understand that you need to take anything about newsworthy from a Call of Duty account with a massive pinch of salt. But I feel faking a terrorist attack is a bit in bad taste. Like, if they'd said, here is a glimpse into the fictional world at the start, and they were upfront about what they were doing, then it would maybe be a little bit better, because it's then just, they're explaining the story, whereas they made it out to be like it's an attack. That was just a game attack.
Yeah, because they actually went ahead and redesigned the entire Call of Duty Twitter profile for this.
Yeah.
So obviously they kept the tag, so it's still at Call of Duty, but everything else was redesigned, so it's made to look like some kind of news feed.
Yeah.
Like an actual
media real thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, you fucking idiots, basically. It's like, what are you, like, in this day and age, it's like...
Considering the things that have happened recently as well.
Yeah. You know, and all this stuff's going on. It's just, there's a right way and a wrong way to do PR. I mean, one could say it's the right way because it's got people talking. And that's obviously what PR is all supposed to do, is kind of, you know, get people talking about your game. But at the same time, it's Call of Duty. You don't, you know, it's the easiest job in the world is to be the Call of Duty PR person.
Yeah.
We have a new Call of Duty game. The millions flock to buy it.
Yeah. Call of Duty game. Here's the name of it.
Bye. I don't know. I thought this was a bit in ill taste.
No, if they wanted to go ahead and do some kind of news reporting thing about the story, then it should have come in the form of a video trailer.
Yeah. Well, they did release a story trailer like the day after, which does look quite cool.
Yeah. But that's how it should have come, because then instantly people will be like, okay, it's on YouTube, it's like obviously saying Call of Duty, whatever, trailer.
Yeah.
And it's boom.
No. Oh well. Hopefully they'll learn, but it's just... I mean, some people... Obviously, a lot of people realised that it was not real, but there would have been some people out there that might have thought it was real.
Yeah,
you know?
I like...
And...
depending on... I didn't see all the tweets, so depending on like the hashtags that were used...
people could have got it out of context.
Yeah, picked up just the one wrong tweet.
Yeah.
Out of context, out of everything, and then it's just something like...
Yeah, what if like people that had like family in over there in Singapore might have freaked out. But anyway, enough Activision stupidity. Let's move on to a developer that we like a lot more than Activision. Well, they're publisher, but anyway, Rockstar. They've got a lot of job listings up at the moment across all of their studios. I think there's about 130 different roles all in all. Made loads of different things, but the interesting one to focus on was a game designer in their studio Rockstar Toronto, which there's a quote there that says developing of advanced physical and digital prototyping skills to establish the pillars of an asymmetrical cooperative stealth experience. So, I mean, throughout all the other stuff, there's destructible environments, tuning of weapons, physics, all that kind of stuff are mentioned in this listing, and there's stuff there that indicates, you know, like kind of cars, like, and vehicles customization. You got to think that's got to be GTA DLC or maybe online related stuff,
probably,
because, you know, online. They've already said online is a kind of ever evolving thing. But I don't know. I wonder what the asymmetrical co-op stealth experience could be. The internet was rife with thinking of Agent, which was a game that they announced way back in 2007, which never came to anything. But that was supposed to be like a stealth game where you kind of went around stealthily, kind of taking people out. Kind of think kind of Hitman, kind of style. And then obviously another one I thought of was Manhunt, because obviously that was very much a stealth game. But then I read something else. Someone said, well, Rockstar's so big and have so much money, they could get a game designer to come in and build that kind of size of thing just for one level in GTA or something. They could just be a stealth level. You know, co-op, obviously, maybe Maybe co-op stealth experience is a heist.
Yeah.
You know, the stealth side of a heist.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe
I don't
they
know,
are
what do
just.
you
They
think
could
these
just be designing a whole new batch of heists because they only released 5, 6
Yeah, I think so.
online.
Yeah.
So maybe they're looking at doing a second batch.
It's possible. I don't know. I don't know what they've got on the horizon. We've got to imagine that Red Dead 3 or Red Dead Redemption 2, whatever they're gonna
Call
it, has got to be there, surely.
I think there's enough public want for it
And it's sold well enough.
that I think it would be hard for them not to.
Yeah. Do you think that's their next game?
I'd like it to be their next game,
That wasn't the question I asked.
but
Yeah.
I don't know if it would be.
I just...
Because it's very similar to
I would like...
GTA in terms of what it offers.
Yeah. I think there's definitely a market for it. What I would like to see is some GTA single-player DLC, which we haven't seen. You know, we had like the Ballad of Gay Tony and the Lost and the Damned from GTA 4.
Yeah, so either like an extra character to bring in, or
Yeah, I don't know how they would necessarily do
more
it
for them to do
in that world,
after
rather
the
than
main
just
story.
focusing on. I mean, online's fine.
Yeah.
You know, they're obviously doing a lot for online, but I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully we'll find out sooner rather than later, because you know, GTA 5 now has been out over 2 years now.
Over 2 years, yeah.
Yeah, it came out like September 2013 because it was right at the end of the
Previous
console life. So it's about time we started hearing of something, I think. But time will tell. Rainbow Six Siege, a game I know Dan keeps his eyes open for, but this part of might actually tip him back away from it now. Officially, no campaign. We've kind of expected it, rumoured it for a while because all coverage has focused on
multiplayer.
There's been no mention of a campaign at all, so it's always been implied. But yeah, officially, no campaign. The only single player experience will be on the same multiplayer maps, basically playing with bots and stuff, using it as like a training thing. But you can still earn the rep and the experience that you earn in multiplayer, probably massively scaled down. But so the question is now, everyone always gets touchy about this subject though, where there's no single player campaign, is the game worth the full £50 that they charge? You know, and two, does it put people off buying it? Remember, there's only 11 multiplayer maps. We talked about that a couple of weeks ago.
Well, at least 11.
11
at launch.
11 at launch. More will come, but it's like, why should I pay £50 for early access? You know, if you haven't got everything ready yet, then delay the game and then release it when you've got enough. You know, Halo has a campaign and 20 maps. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
This has no campaign and only 11 maps. And it's coming after all the other shooters. Call of Duty has a campaign, long as you get the new gen version.
Yeah.
Halo has a campaign, so does anyone care for Rainbow Six now?
Yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, like, the problem was the style of play that they were trying to bring in for Siege doesn't lend itself to a single player campaign. So it's like right off the bat, you could see that this game was not gearing itself to be a single player campaign style like shooter.
But do you not think
I would?
Yeah.
I
you
always
used to have team, didn't you?
Yeah.
Didn't you? In single player, it used to kind of still be like rescue the hostages and stuff.
Yeah,
But
yeah. It's like, but it used to make you go places. As in, like,
rather than like A level, sort of thing. Yeah.
It was like the old PC ones. You had like you had overarching control of like 4 teams of up to like 6 people. No, it's not 6 people, 4 people in each.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So it's like that's 16 people, like, that you could theoretically control, but you can only control 1 at a time.
Yeah.
To actually play, but it's still all ongoing. The tactics are there, and it's like it's just not the game that I was hoping for when they brought it.
I heard on a podcast earlier this week that someone brought up a really good point, is the fact that this game is from the Tom Clancy series, remember?
Yep.
And what's Tom Clancy, or what was Tom Clancy? It's not a trick question.
He's an author.
He's an author, so he writes Stories.
Mm.
Where's the story for his game? I mean, I know it's not his game anymore, but you know, this Rainbow Six world came from, you know, books with narratives and authors and stuff. So like, a story for a Tom Clancy game should be vital.
Yeah.
I know obviously it's evolved, you know, games have evolved a lot.
I kind of
I thought it was quite an interesting point.
Yeah, it's a good one actually. No, you mentioned it because unfortunately he
has
no
passed
longer with us.
Yeah.
And so on. And I almost wonder if maybe this game would have come out the same way it has if he was still around.
Yeah. I don't know how much obviously he's sold off
yeah,
to.
that's another thing. So like without knowing how much rights he'd sold off to say, do what you want with it, as long as you put my name on it.
Yeah.
You acknowledge the fact that I came up with Rainbow Six, you can do what you can.
Well, this isn't even called Tom Clancy's now, is it? It's just Rainbow Six Siege, I believe.
Is it not?
I might be wrong. But
Okay.
I've never seen it as Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. So,
Wow.
You know.
Okay.
Anyway.
I always assumed that his name would be attached to it.
Maybe it is. I'm going to look it up while I talk. Let's move on to some happier news for the final item this week. And anyone that knows me knows that I'm a racing fan. Now, I already explained that with Need for Speed and Forza and stuff. If you read my blogs, I mention Forza nearly every time. So,
That's what you're sponsored to.
I wish I was sponsored. But Burnout was... Okay, yes, it's Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege.
Okay.
According to the Rainbow Six UB website. Anyway, Burnout is one of my favourite racing franchises from a long time ago. Burnout 3 was awesome. But now, it's possible that we could be seeing a spiritual successor in the coming years. Very brief history lesson. Alex Ward, Fiona Sperry, they co-founded Criterion way back in the day.
Yeah.
That's when they were partnered with Acclaim, which are no longer around. Criterion was eventually bought by EA, and then basically they took these guys, Alex and Fiona, left Criterion, and basically everyone that was on Criterion got moved over to work on the Need for Speed games. Need for Speed obviously sells way more than Burnout, so Burnout was kind of just left to die by EA because they own the IP. Alex and Fiona have now formed a new studio called Three Fields Entertainment, and a couple of tweets came out this week. They've given us a brief insight into their plans for the future. Quote, 2 things. Our first game is a multiplayer sports game coming in spring 2016. Then we make a driving game. What sort of driving game, you ask? A spiritual successor. Speed, traffic, and crashing. Lots and lots of crashing. So, yes! Cool. Yeah, so there's only one bad thing about this is they're not a huge studio at the moment. So if they've got this sports game, I'm not even sure what this game is. I don't think they've announced it yet. So, multiplayer sports game. From these guys, I was thinking something similar along the lines of Rocket League they should be making, which would be
Could do.
But I honestly don't know what they're making. If that's spring 2016, you've got to think that earliest this next driving game is going to come out is going to be the end of 2017. Because they're not going to move on to it.
Yeah, if they've not got the capacity to work side by side, then yeah, you've got to give them a full...
It depends what kind of scale of games they're trying to make. You know, are they trying to... It is possible that they might be able to get in a partnership with, you know, Ubisoft or something at some point, because they're indie at the moment. You know,
yeah,
and then that might speed it up, be able to borrow some talent from other studios, who knows. But yeah, a new Burnout of some sorts. That's what I really miss. Like, we don't really have many racing games anymore that really emphasise speed.
Yeah.
It's like, even in this Need for Speed game, it's like, it says I'm driving at 130 miles an hour.
It doesn't feel it.
But I don't feel like I'm going that fast. Like, it's just like, there's not stuff just coming at you from all directions. It's just...
Yeah, because a lot of games, they used to do the things of, like, you get the tunnel vision, like, you get the camera wobble.
Yeah.
Things like that.
No, that's...
I think that's something that Project Cars tried to bring in, but I never played it at high enough speed to really...
Because you were too busy crashing, is it?
No, because I was just playing in the lower class stuff for my career, so it's like, and didn't build up to the point where I'm thundering along the straight, like 200 plus miles an hour.
The only game I've seen racing, like even Forza, doesn't have a real sense. I mean, sometimes it does in some instances, but not like kind of Burnout speed. The closest game I can think of that shows this similar speed that will be coming soon will be Trackmania Turbo, which is a Ubisoft game. Basically, think Trials Fusion but with cars.
Okay.
So yeah, that looks fast. So I'm excited. That's enough of the news. We'll move on to the games this week, and I'm going to hand over to Dan for the first one because he's going to tell us all about. Well, not all about because we're going to be about another 10 minutes, but he's going to give us a little bit of info on NBA 2K16.
Yeah.
How is it going?
It's going actually alright so far. Like, the first week in previous years, like, this is the one thing that I really am happy with, is the fact that the 2K servers have been fine.
Knock on wood, yeah, you haven't gone home and played it today yet.
Yeah, no, I haven't. But in, like, the time I've had it since Tuesday, it's, like, no problems. It's like,
that's good.
That's the biggest thing that has plagued them in years gone by. It's the fact that the server's just been in, out, and you were just lucky if you were able to play it.
Yeah. Oh, because because it's got this kind of like my player coin currency. So you need to be, just to clarify, like you have to be connected to the server to play the my player mode, even though it's not a single.
You have to be connected to the server to play most of it,
even though it's a single player experience. That's the problem.
Yeah, because
it's not like you were trying to play the online modes and
it saves all your profile stuff to their servers constantly, and it's kind of like half and half online, offline. But that, like, the game works well. It's like you can definitely see that they've improved like the general AI aspects of it.
Yeah, I'm hearing good things.
Yeah, it's like it looks beautiful as always. Like
it's
every year they managed to make it look better.
Yeah,
and so on. It's like I haven't tried out all the game modes yet, so I can't say how everything works. But like of the 5-on-5 stuff I've done on Play Now, well, I was waiting for it to finish installing.
Oh,
like the My Player stuff is good. The Spike Lee story,
I've actually heard some people are really liking it.
Oh no, it's like it's written well, but there's no scope of choice.
Yeah, it's like one story. It's like
there's no, if people are going in thinking
there's no branches off.
There's
It's not like an RPG with different paths. It's just one.
And
path.
as I was explaining to you, like at work the other day, if you are making a My Player who is anything other than black, be prepared to suspend a lot of belief when you're watching the story, because your family doesn't adapt around the ethnicity of your My Player.
Basically, all your family, including your twin sister,
are black.
Are African American.
Yes, and that is it. That doesn't change.
I wouldn't necessarily say that's. I mean,
no, but
you could argue that there's been years and years of like kind of obviously Caucasian stories, but then again, normally you're just given a character rather than able to create a character.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I've got no problem with the actual background. I'm just saying, just take it with a pinch of salt when you see it, and just go with it, because it doesn't matter once you reach season 2.
Yeah. Okay. But no, we should say as well that it's nothing to do. Dan saying the server's now working is nothing to do with the fact that less people are buying it, because there was a story on Friday that they've already sold in 4 million copies in 4 days.
Yeah. And
that their online sales have doubled over last year, so it's obviously doing really well. It does look good. So, if you want a slightly worse basketball game, then NBA Live 16 is also out this week. I don't know why EA released it the same week. Like, get it out a week earlier at least, in the hope that some people might buy it by mistake or something.
Maybe they were hoping that the 2K servers wouldn't work.
Maybe.
And so everyone's like, screw this, I'm getting NBA Live.
They need to. I don't understand why EA still try with. I mean, maybe one day they'll turn it around, but at the moment they're just so far behind. So far behind. Talking of bad games, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 is out this week. It's out for all the consoles, but just don't buy it. It doesn't matter how much of a Tony Hawk's fan you are. Just watch the video I'm showing you now. There is bugs galore in this game. You go on the internet, everyone is slamming. It's become the video game industry's joke of the week in how bad it is. But I actually read a really interesting story this week for possibly a reason of why it's so bad.
Did they forget a couple of lines of code?
Well, firstly, the patch was almost twice the size of the game. The game comes in at 4 gig, and the patch was 7 gig. So that says something.
That sounds very familiar to a certain Assassin's Creed game that came out last year.
Yeah, but that Assassin's Creed game still got a lot better reviews than this did.
Yeah.
And then, so we're kind of wondering about what's happened. Have they not been given enough money, enough time? Someone found a story on Reddit back in 2005 or something that when Activision announced they'd renewed their license with Tony Hawk's, it was renewed through to December 31st, 2015.
Oh.
So now, obviously, I'm sure there'll be people out there who are able to dig into it a lot more and have the contacts to find out. But the hint is that maybe they had to get the game out this year, and that's why it's... because they changed the visual art like last month or 2 months ago, and I remember thinking, how can you change the art style like 8 weeks before the game's release? And obviously they had to change it because it wasn't working, so ideally they would kick it back 6 months and then have the time to work on it, but they didn't have the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, just don't. Journey Collector's Edition on the PS4. This is the Journey that's been out on consoles, PS3, PS4. It's already there. But this one comes with Flow and Flower as well, which is 2 other kind of similar kind of atmospheric kind of games. So if you want to check that out. We've got Orbit on the Xbox One, which looks like kind of a twin stick shooter style. You're in this big round circle and you're a little dot and you have to go all around and kind of shoot stuff. It was a bit weird. Am I on point? I think I'm on point, aren't I?
Yeah. It's like this. Sorry, it's just because I was thinking of the other twin stick shooter.
Oh, there's Polychromatic also for the Xbox One. These games look very similar.
So I was just thinking, like, we're double downing on twin sticks in 1 week. It's just like,
yeah, one for each stick. Orbit's in space, so it's like all black background, whereas Polychromatic is maybe on an off black grey background.
That's the difference.
And also, Polychromatic are all shapes, like polygons, as the name suggests.
Colour shapes.
And Orbit was more just specs.
Yeah.
So there's your twin stick options for the week. We've got Standpoint for the Xbox One, which I couldn't work out what the hell was going on with this game. It looks like a weird sort of runner with gravity, where you have to kind of move your character and avoid obstacles while going along like a path.
Yeah,
it's weird.
It's very sort of like slightly puzzle game.
Yeah, it's a puzzle game, but it kind of weirdly reminded me a little bit of Numa. That was kind of it's not, but when I watched it, that was kind of a game that came to my mind. I don't know if it's because it's recent.
That's kind of what I was thinking as well when I watched a little bit of the video that I'd found.
Yeah, first person puzzle transverse kind of. We've got The Escapists, The Walking Dead version. We spoke about The Escapists quite a while ago. Mm-hmm. This is a 2D pixel art game where you're in a prison and you have to escape prison as convicts. The Walking Dead version is
basically just The Walking Dead.
It's the opposite. Yeah, you're still in the prison. You're all Walking Dead skins, and this time it's about like kind of stopping the zombies from getting in and like surviving.
Yeah, like
surviving in the prison.
What I've seen about it is it pretty much just takes some of the episodes of the TV show. So like you actually start off as Rick Grimes in hospital, and you've got to escape the hospital.
You've got to escape the hospital,
and then go meet up with other characters as they come in and do what you need to do.
Yeah, it looks quite cool. If you're a Walking Dead fan, you'll probably enjoy this. If you're a big fan of the series, but The Escapist did look like a good game as well, but very hard from what I understood. So I don't know if this game lends itself to be any more approachable. We have one more title, which is, because we already did that Polychromatic, didn't we? Which is Samurai Warriors 4 on the PS4. It's a fighting game with warriors using samurais, and it's the 4th one. Perfect description. Anything to add?
Not really. It's, from what I was looking at the trailer, it was of the Japanese version of the game, and it basically just looks like you are fighting a massive horde of enemies most of the time. I'm sure there's meant to be some story in there, but unfortunately the subtitles were moving too quickly for me to be able to read all of it to actually understand exactly what they were trying to set up in that trailer.
Well, I can tell you right now,
the levels just look full of enemies that you're continually smashing and slicing.
on Metacritic it has 4 out of 5. On Steam, it's actually been given a 9 out of 10 rating. So, at the very least, it sounds like it's a good hack and slash game.
Yeah, so I can't fault it for how it looked.
Yeah. So if you like those type of games, that's the one for you. Dan.
Yes.
Do I even need to ask you what your pick for this week is?
Well, you know which game I've bought.
Yeah. Do you stand by your choice? Is there any game that you feel is a better game this week for you?
If this wasn't the third time that we'd seen Journey, I would have said that.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it's only a collector's edition. It's come out a couple of other times because we had the PS3 and we've had the PS4 version separately. So there's nothing there that I would say trumps it. But I'd say if anyone hasn't yet gone and played Journey,
that's a good one.
Then they should be looking at that.
Yeah, that's pretty much. I don't really have anything to add to that. It's probably as good a description I could have said. NBA. I'm not a huge basketball fan, but I am kind of. If I had more time, then I would pick up NBA this year. I feel like I haven't played it since like 12, and I feel this would be a good time to come back in with like this story. Everyone's saying defense has been improved and everything. It's getting really good reviews.
Problem is on offense, because the defense has been improved, you are more likely to turn the ball over if you don't know what you're doing. So you would end up being angry.
No, well, I could play 5-on-5 though.
Yeah, you'd still turn the ball.
Does the my player do what it used to do, where like you do like 100 good things and your bar goes up like that much, and then you do one bad thing and it just like goes all the way down again?
Oh yeah.
Oh, for fuck's. That's why I gave up the last game, because it was like I do loads of good things, like nice assist, little bit of bar. Oh, like kind of offensive turnover, 2 ratings down.
I nearly had a triple double last night and still ended up with like a B rating because of the times I turned the ball over. Yeah. Part of the triple double, by the way, was not turnovers.
I was going to say,
I was 1 rebound away from having points, rebounds, and assists.
Yeah, it's just why. Also, I think that a turnover shouldn't be a negative. Like the turnover could be initially negative, but if you get back and play defense and prevent the score, then you should get all of the negative back on. But you don't.
It's the pile-on factor that's the problem.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But anyway. People that have never played NBA have no idea what we're talking about, so we'll cut off there. So thank you, everyone out there, as always, for joining us. If you have joined us, if anyone is still watching, other than me, editing me, hello. And Dan, thank you, as always. Remember, leave us comments down below about what you think. Were Activision right to pretend that there was terrorists attacking Singapore? What do you think Rockstar's next game will be? Have you fallen into the trap and bought Tony Hawk's? And how much do you regret it? Not do you regret it, how much do you regret it? Hopefully you didn't buy it though. Not a full price game. It's a £50 game as well, we should add.
Oh god, no.
It's a £50 game. So, I just feel bad for the parents out there, because there'll be parents going to buy kids stuff at Christmas. We're like, oh, little Johnny used to love Tony Hawk's when he was a kid, so I'll buy him this new one.
Yeah.
So make sure you tell your parents to not buy the new Tony Hawk's. Go and buy a PS1 and get Tony Hawk's 1 and 2.
Especially 2.
Definitely 2. But for now, thank you everyone, and we'll see you all next Monday.